Yo, what's going on? Yeah, I just want to speak my mind a little bit about the Resident Evil 4 remake. It's only going to be a quick video, so if you want to see more of this kind of video and whatnot, obviously subscribe to the channel, and yeah, we I'll do more of them. So anyway, yeah, I'm genuinely quite excited about it, to be honest. I can't wait to see what they've done with it. So I want like what they changed, what they've added, and maybe even taken out from the reveal. It kind of looks it looks a lot darker and probably more focused on like the horror sides of the game, and not so much the action, which to be honest, I kind of want to see. I want to see that. I want to see the game more to be. I want to see the game more horror focused than what it actually is. Like obviously, considering the original was more action focused than horror. But obviously, don't get me wrong. Like it's still a horror game through and through, and I still obviously consider it a horror game and all that. But I've always kind of seen it more as an action game than a horror one. Um, but yeah, like when I remember hearing the rumors that they were doing a remake for this game. Like okay, it must have been like last year sometime. It would have been like last year, like about a year ago or whatever. And I was like thinking, I was genuinely thinking to myself, like, do they do they really need to make a remake for it? Because like, 'cause I don't, or do they need to make a remake or even like a remaster of it? Because I don't, because I didn't think that it needed one. I didn't think that it should have got one or should get one at all. But to be honest, after the game, like, I played it fairly recently, and again played through the whole game or whatever. And to be honest, I kind of changed my mind a little bit about it, and I changed my mind a little bit about it because to us, it still holds up very well. It's still and like it's. I think it is obviously, as you can see, the gameplay here, like it is starting to show its age. But like, I mean, the game came out in 2005. Well, how long ago was 2005? That's about what 17 years ago. About 17 years ago. So like, it's gonna obviously show its age now, but like, which I didn't really think that much about, obviously. But like, I mean, like, look at it. Like, for a game that came out in 2005, this is insane. Like, it's insane for a game that came out in 2005. Like, like, I genuinely forgot that it's that old, and I genuinely kind of didn't realize how old it was, even playing through it again. Like, even though it is showing its age, I didn't. It doesn't. I don't think it looks or feels as old as it is. But like, yeah, I don't. Like, I want to bring up the point as well that I don't think it needed a remake as much as Resident Evil 2 and 3 did. Because like you go back to play the original Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 3, like holy shit, they have aged badly. They have not aged that well at all. Like, to be honest, like, so I think, to be honest, like, they really haven't. And I genuinely do think those two games needed a remake. They really did. And to us, even I remember, like, back when Resident Evil 2, the remake, was announced and was coming out, I remember saying that. You know what? I think it's about time. It's about time that it got a remake. And sort of the same thing with Resident Evil 3. Like, it kind of needed a remake because they haven't aged that well. But but yeah, like I didn't really have that same feeling when I first heard the rumors about this game getting a remake. But like look again, going back to it, it does feel dated. It does feel a lot older than not older. That's not the right word to use. It does feel a bit dated, and it does feel that it needs some improvements. Like, and obviously the graphics are going to look a lot better because it's 15, like sort of 17 years ago. It's going to be like a it's coming out next year, so it's going to be like an 18-year difference between the original and the remake. So it's gonna be a big difference. But my sort of not concern, but my kind of thoughts is what will they do with it? What can they do? What like apart from like the very obvious, like obviously making it look a bit of making the game look a bit better, making the controls not as tanky, and just making it feel a bit modern. And outside of that, I'm trying to think what could they do? What can they really do? But again, as I going back to what I said earlier, like saying that by the looks of the reveal, it does look a lot darker, more horror based, and I feel that that's what they kind of needed to do if they're going to remake this game. Because the thing like with a remaster, you could probably get away with it being very much the same. Because obviously, for a remake, it is you're remaking a game. Like it's going to be this somewhat the same game. But I feel like with a remake, you can't really be slacking that much. You need to. I think you need to change some things up. I feel like you need to do something more than just um, make it look a bit nicer, and maybe change the controls up a little bit. Because you can do that in a remaster without completely remaking the game, and it really have to put a lot of effort into making a good product with a remaster with a good yeah, you need to put a lot more into it anyway. But yeah, like, to be honest, I'm really hoping they don't um, cut that much from the original. To us, if anything at all. Obviously, I want some changes to be made. I don't want it to be the exact same game, but I don't. If anything, like you could probably cut out a little bit of the bullshit, but but again, at that point, I don't. There needs to be some level or a little bit of what the filler, because I think that sometimes you need that little bit of filler to really make the game a lot better. I feel, and to be honest, like it's okay, this is like one of the most popular Resident Evil games, isn't it? Like if I remember right, like this was like the highest rated Resident Evil, if I remember right. Again, like tell me if I'm wrong, but that's kind of what I remember. People like this game. People really like this game, and I don't think many people will be too happy if you completely mess around with it. If you cut content out of it. Like, I really, again, as I said, like, was changing stuff or whatever. Like, again, I feel like if you do a remake, doing a remake, you need to change something. But I don't. There gets a point where you're changing a game and to remake it, and then cutting out content that you don't need to cut out. I don't think you should cut out. But yeah, okay, we'll have to wait and see. Like next March is when it's coming out, and I can't wait for that, to be honest. And so yeah, I would like to see, like, obviously I will like to see all the DLC with it as well. That would be pretty sick. That'd be pretty sick to see all the DLC like updated as well, like remade. Cause I would love to see the whole game, like the whole thing, just a bit like a new coat of paint, just like brought to like a modern console. I would love to see that, but yeah, I think that's about all I want to say about it, to be honest. So I'm going to leave it there for now. So if you have made it this far, obviously drop me a like, subscribe to the channel, and yeah, thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll see you lot again. Peace out.